promoting and supporting some of the cornerstones of the American experience. It's all about family, faith, and freedom. Now let's get back to the Curtis Report with your host, Barry Curtis.
Thanks and welcome back to the Curtis Report. Appreciate you coming back. Again, follow along with us if you care to, online with us. TheCurtisReport.com or TheCurtisInitiative.com will take you to the same website, CurtisReport.com or CurtisInitiative.com, where you'll see photos and bios, current guests, former guests, future guests, those contributors who write for the Curtis Report page, and some blogs of mine, some of my columns that may have appeared in newspapers. So check that out, TheCurtisReport.com or TheCurtisInitiative.com. Always kudos out to Facebook, folks. I love you. What would I do without Facebook? They just rock. It keeps me connected. I'm connected with you via Facebook. We appreciate that. We were talking before the break about Susan Hawk. Susan Hawk, the Dallas County District Attorney, elected in the election last year, sworn in early this year. First female district attorney in Dallas County. First Republican to win statewide office since 2004. And just talking about some of the trials and tribulations she may be going through here, and letting Susan know we endorse it, and so it's part of full disclosure. The Curtis Report, Curtis Initiative endorse Susan Hawk for that campaign. She ran as a Republican. She is a conservative. I think she is a conservative. I think she's got impeccable credentials, and we endorsed her last year. She won, so I want to make sure that's out there. We continue to support her 100%, in spite of what the Dallas Morning News may say, in spite of what Gromer Jeffers may say. Gromer Jeffers Jr., love you, Gromer, but you know what? I think you're implying some things that are not there. We talked about before the break the revelation that Susan Hawk sought treatment in 2013 during a campaign for addiction to prescription drugs. She sought a treatment for that. Apparently, the things worked out for the better. She was engulfed in a campaign. A tough campaign that she won. I mean, she beat an entrenched Democratic incumbent, Craig Watkins, and so a tough campaign. She won. It's a tough job. She seemed to be doing what she's supposed to be doing. But some of these things, the Dallas Morning News, and they had a couple of exposés about her, pieces about her, inflammatory in my opinion. 3 months in DA engulfed in turmoil. And right next to her, there's a story here, prescription drugs, easy to get hooked on, experts say. Great. Thanks, Dallas Morning News. And again, Susan, I caution you, it is the Dallas Morning News. Not necessarily recognized as the bastion of conservatism. Okay? I'll just put it that way. You fired Susan. Someone who apparently was your friend and someone who worked for you closely there in the DA's office, Bill Werski. Here's my theory about this. And I think that even Craig Watkins can agree with that. And I think one of his assistants was quoted as saying something similar. But, you got to have people around you that you trust. And apparently Bill wasn't one of those. He said some very disparaging things about her since he's been terminated. And he does sound like a disgruntled employee. Bill Werski was fired by Susan Hawk. So be it. He probably should have been. He sounds like an unloyal employee of the DA's office. You sound like an unloyal representative for you, Susan Hawk. So be it. Fire him. You fired Jennifer Bolito. So be it. Fire her. Here's some allegations of Susan that you're harsh. Some people are called it, erratic, bizarre behavior. And this is interesting to me. That we have highlighted in the Dallas Morning News episodes, apparently, according to the Dallas Morning News, episodes of bizarre behavior by Susan Hawk. Bizarre behavior. Well, what's a bizarre behavior? Let me tell you something. You may want to look at the bizarre behavior of the person she replaced, Craig Watkins. Now, I can personally tell you an account that I was in an elevator down at the county courthouse with Craig Watkins, and I wasn't in there particularly with him, but other people. He happened to get on the elevator, smelled the alcohol on his breath. I have been around Craig Watkins at business events, not social events where he would be drinking. That smelled the alcohol on Craig Watkins' address. Maybe somebody else needs to be getting treatment. There has been rumors and allegations for years about Craig Watkins drinking on the job. That's not news. Where's the Dallas Morning News expose on that? Where's the Dallas Morning News expose on Craig Watkins getting drunk in the DA's office? Did that ever happen? There's been rumors to that for years. Did I miss that, Dallas Morning News? Did I miss that somewhere here that the Democratic incumbent, the black Democratic incumbent there in the DA's office, you failed to follow up on the little innuendos and rumors, the same innuendos and rumors that you're come forward with on this? You know, and here's the deal just in general that I can say. You know, I don't care about somebody having an alcohol or drug abuse problem. But I do care about a drunk who doesn't seek help. That's a problem. Someone who seeks help, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing for an addiction or disease. So be it. And in that addiction and diseased world, I'm very familiar with. And people who know me and know what I do and those sorts of things, they know that. So don't play the game with me, Craig Watkins. Don't come my way. I don't want to hear your bull. I don't want to hear the mess associated with that, because nothing you can tell me about the disease, nothing you can tell me about a 12-step program or anything of the rest. But what I can tell you is this, Dallas Morning News, Craig Watkins, everybody else, is that I didn't see sprawled out on the front page of the Dallas Morning News accusations and innuendos, which were out there, still out there. All you had to do is go ask folks, both employees that were there at the time, former employees, people he fired there at the time, people, you know, you don't have to go far to ask folks, you know, about if they felt like Craig Watkins was drunk or drinking on the job. But yet we have front page expose of a conservative person, Susan Hawk, who says she happened to seek treatment in 2013 for an addiction to prescription drugs. Kudos to you, Susan. Pat on the back to you, Susan, and attaboy, Susan, for seeking help for a problem that you recognize you have. I bet there's not anybody in Dallas County saying they smelled alcohol on her breath. Kudos to you, Susan Hawk. I love it. Kudos to you, Susan Hawk. We have to keep in mind, Susan, you are a hawk and not a dove. You are a hawk and not a sparrow. You are a hawk and not a drunk. So we have these allegations, you know, this Bill Worski, he was fired, and Bill Worski, well, so what? He's fired. Fire some more, Susan. Shake up the place. After years of Craig Watkins running the DA's office, we probably need some shaking up. We probably need some moving around. Let's shake him up and move him around, Susan. Let's shake up and move around a few more. More about this and even more when we get back here in just a moment with more of the Curtis Report. In just a moment.